This video is brought to you by ProBoxingSupplies.com, where you can get 25% off now, and PowerPerformanceProducts.com, where you can get $10 off your purchase of Body Storm and Body Effects.
Spencer Lazara, MMA interviews alongside Herschel Walker, 2-0 undefeated Strikeforce fighter. So what's going on, boss? Came down to see Ronda?
I did. You know, Ronda and Jacare, Ronda has become a big sensation in MMA, and you know, it's great to see women coming up. I tell you, she is an excellent fighter, and I think she proved it again tonight.
Yeah. What did you think about Jacare's performance as well?
Well, he had another great performance, and you always going to see that from Jacare. When he comes out, he comes to fight. So that's one thing you always can expect from him. That when he shows up in that in the octagon, he's going to fight, and that's what the first thing I said. I hope his opponent is ready, because Jacare come to fight.
Very classy as well. He had to knock the guy out almost 3 times. He kept wanting to just stop.
Well, he was. I tell you what, he knocked him out, and the guy hit the canvas and woke up, and knocked him out again. The guy hit it and woke up. So, you know, he's a very classic fighter. He's a very great guy. You know, it's funny because when he and Luke fought, it was kind of hard because I got to really like Jacare a great deal. But then Luke is my training partner, and Luke is like my son. So it was sort of like, man, I got to go for Luke. It's hard to see family fight, but that's the way this game is. And I think that's the reason MMA is such a great, great sport. They're not trying to hide no one. They're not trying to say, oh, you're not going to fight this one. They're going to let the best fight the best.
Looks like you're going to have to see it again, maybe.
I think there's going to be another great fight. It was a great fight, the first one. So Jacare, Rockhold 2, it's going to be another good fight.
Yeah. I mean, acquaint that to football in a sense that you going up against guys in a relatively violent or, you know, hard-hitting sport like football is kind of the same as MMA. And you don't look at it like as a fight. It's competition, right?
Well, there's no doubt it's competition. I think that's the reason the guys love this sport. It's competition. Whereas in football, a little different in the sense that if you make a mistake, you got a teammate that may cover for you. But when you step into that the octagon or that cage, you make a mistake, you're there by yourself, and you better be able to recover from it. And I said that's the reason I think it's probably one of the best sports in the world. Not taking anything away from football. I made my life in football. I still love it a lot. But I tell you, MMA is a different world.
Yeah. Well, a few predictions I want to get here. First of all, Jon Jones and Dan Henderson coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting fight. You know, Dan, I love Dan. I think Dan is such a great, great fighter, so much experience on that. But, you know, Jon Jones is another one of those freaky athletes that are just taking this world by storm. And I think because of his reach, it's going to be an interesting fight for Dan, because Jon used his reach better than anyone I've seen in MMA. And it's going to be, if Dan can get in on him, it's going to be a good fight. But if Dan can't get in on Jon, I think Jon going to have his way.
Yeah. And then who's going to win the NFL championship Super Bowl this year?
Well, you know, that's another tough one. It's sort of like an MMA in that. But, you know, I think the Giants right now still got the outside chance because, you know, they're the defending champion. You know, there's a lot of good teams out there, but I think the Giants still are one of the powerhouse teams in the NFL.
I know Cain is your guy. Alistair's been lobbying a little bit for that title shot. Junior said he wants to fight. And what do you think of that whole scenario?
Well, that's a good scenario there. And, you know, Cain is my guy. And, you know, I think Cain deserves another chance. When Cain went into that fight, he was really not 100%. And Junior's such an excellent, excellent fighter. And I think what the people want to see is they want to see good fights. So, you know, the 3 of those guys, either one of those guys, you put the 2 in the cage, you're going to see a good fight. Whether it's Alistair and Junior, or Cain and Alistair, or Junior and Cain, you're going to see some good fight. Because those are 3 of your best. And, you know, another one of your best is going to be Cormier. You know, he's another training camp guy, and Cormier is an excellent, excellent heavyweight. And I think people are missing that; they're not counting him. And, you know, he fought against Josh Barnett. You know, Josh Barnett, and people got to remember, Josh Barnett was a UFC heavyweight champion. He never lost the belt. He was stripped of it because of a drug thing, but he went over to Japan. He continued to fight, and I thought Cormier had his way with him. Cormier did some good things, and I'm gonna tell you, Cormier is in that mix as well. Even though you got Strikeforce and UFC, and Cormier is in Strikeforce, but when you talk about heavyweights, you got to throw Cormier in there. I think he's one of the best in the world as well.
I fully agree. When are we gonna see you back in action?
I don't know. You know, I'm continuing to train. You know, I'm always gonna train. That's my big love is training, and you know, I don't have nobody calling me out, so I'm safe right now. So I said, as long as I'm out there training, I'm gonna be okay.
There were so many reports back in the days that you didn't lift any weights all you did was push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, things like that. Is that true, and can you talk about it?
Well, no, that's totally true, and it's not the sense that I'm just doing push-ups, sit-ups, and all those things. What it is, I'm doing what I call isometric. It's sort of like body lifting. I tell people all the time, I think pound for pound, the strongest athlete in the world is a gymnast. And you don't see a gymnast doing a lot of weight work. They do a lot of body lifting, a lot of things using their body weight. And that's why I say a lot of young people should get into it first, because they're not going to hurt their joints. And, you know, since I've gotten results from when I was little and it has carried over to now, I continue to do it.
Well, it is a true pleasure to talk with you. I appreciate the time. Herschel Walker, I'm Spencer Lazari. You're watching MMAinterviews.tv.